we'll explain how I use Dehancer to get cinematic film looks in my footage. I'll talk about the good and the bad. If you didn't know, Dehancer is an effect plugin for film-like color grading and film effects for DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, After Effects, and Premiere Pro. There's also a photo editing version for Photoshop and Lightroom, and a mobile app that you can use to color grade your photos and videos straight from your phone. I know there are many creatives out there using their phones to create content, especially with the new phones that are coming out with such great quality. This app might be the one for you. There are so many effects and details in this plugin that I haven't really touched the surface of its capabilities, but I'll walk you through my workflow on what I've been able to do with just a month that I've been using it. Alright, so I'm gonna be using Dehancer in Premiere Pro. Cool thing about this is they send you a lot of material on how to efficiently use Dehancer. You can see here, they sent me a plugin quick guide, so it tells you what settings they recommend for the use of their plugin in the software that you're using. So this is everything in Premiere Pro. They have like I said before, they have a DaVinci version, so they'll probably send that to you too. So let's open up Premiere Pro here. So you'll see my template for my vlogs. I already have all my assets here. I categorize on my video, audio, and photo. Then I have my end screen. I have what I used to use for the intros of my video. I don't use that anymore. I have an adjustment layer, subscribe button, motion graphics template. Oh, this is my location. And then white background whenever I show footage. I have my sequence here, so I'll put that on. Oh, you can see that all my assets are here. Let's just go ahead and take that out. This is from my brother's wedding. Oh, let's just do, and I haven't seen any of this footage yet, so this is really just, I'm just gonna do random ones. 1, 2, and oh, there, okay. So we'll put them into Premiere Pro. All right, these were shot at 60p, so let's modify, oop, wrong one. 23976. All right, so this is real. This is how I actually do my videos. You got audio here, photo. I don't have anything that I'm gonna, okay. So let's just get a clip. Let's just get that. That right there. Boom. Get another clip. What are they doing? Walking? Oh, they're standing. Let's do that. There. And then we'll get this one. This was shot in Yosemite, California. All right. So the way that I do it, and I've seen tutorials of people using this plugin, and they'll get Dehancer here. Let's see on my visual. These are all the effects that I use regularly, so I put them in their own separate folders just so I can access them quicker. But you'll see that they get Dehancer and they'll put it straight onto the clip. I don't like to do that because if I'm doing a longer shoot, I have so many clips and I'm not gonna put Dehancer in each one, and you'll see how much detail is in the actual plugin. And for that reason too, one of the bad, for me at least, is the fact that it makes my computer run slow. And I've reached out to them and they said it's probably the computer, which I think too, but this computer is an M1 Max, so I did not think it would make it run that slow, but you'll see how slow it runs. And that's the that's the major reason why It's not the best. Well, I mean, it's really good. It just makes my workflow so much slower. So anyways, I put on 2 adjustment layers. I usually do that on top of my footage. I'll do 2 or 3, but usually 2. So yeah, so let's do, yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. So we'll go Dehancer. I usually put it on the top one. Now Dehancer already has some effects that are turned on, and I wish there was a way to turn them all off and then you can go down and pick them. So I know it starts at grain. So film grain here. Let's disable that, close it, print, expand, disable, film compression. Okay, so is that it? Okay, film, disable that, and then input. Okay, so now this is just regular. And I wish this is how it came out, you know, when you put the effect right on it. So those are 2 main things. Well, one more main than the other. So here you can see Rec 709. You can see all the sources of the video. Here I will choose camera, and they have a plethora of selection from Sony to Red cameras, Panasonic, Fujifilm, DJI, Canon, Blackmagic, and then they have phone, Apple right here, and they're constantly adding to it. I think they just added, I don't know, I saw on their post they did like a Sony, more Sony cameras. So this was shot on the Sony a7 IV, S-Log3, Gamut 3 Cine. So there's 2 of them here. I don't really know what the difference is. So you see automatically the contrast, the color. So that's ISO 800. Let's switch to 3200 just to see if there's a difference. Yeah, and I really don't see any. Typically I'll either pick one or the other depending if it's indoors or outdoors. Since this is outdoors, I'll just do 800 since it was pretty bright. So there. You got your Rec 709. So I do that first, and then let me switch this over to color grade. So you'll see effects down here. Okay. So what I'll do first is put the input, and then I will go individually in each footage here, and then I'll adjust right here on the right, the basic correction. I'll adjust the blacks. I usually go from the bottom up, but you'll see how like slow this is. So I'd like my blacks to be just at 0. Whites, I don't like a lot of white and highlights. I'm not a huge fan. I usually have this at around like 80, and then I'll bump the highlights to bring it up to 85, but that's about it. That's getting too dark. Okay, bring that down a little bit. Okay, I like it better like that. There's already a lot of contrast. Let's go ahead and adjust the white balance. I'll just pick a spot here just to get it started. Usually like to round to numbers. That's just me. Let me see right here. Too much. All right, we'll go with this. All right, and then what I like to do is like to copy, and then if the location's the same, you should just paste attributes just to make it go a little quicker. See how long it takes? Okay. So we'll do that. Now we'll go back to the adjustment layer. Go back to the go back to the effects of Dehancer Pro. So we just did input, done. Now go to film. So how do you want it to look? And they have a lot of stock film right here. Look at this. I usually leave it Kodak Vision 3 250D. D stands for daylight. You got 50, you got 250, and then you got the 200T, 500T, and that stands for tungsten. So if it's indoors, I usually leave it at 250. Let's enable it, and you'll see the color change again. So there, you see that. So after I add the film, you'll see the color change. I won't do anything yet, but you can go to the second adjustment layer and adjust, you know, the basic corrections, the blacks, the whites, the highlights, all that stuff if you wanted to. I usually go down. Again, there's a lot of these things I haven't used yet. I haven't played around with Film Developer yet. Film compression I have played around with, and I don't get it yet. But Dehancer has put out, I don't know if it's tutorials or just blogs, but they do talk about their different effects. So they had a blog recently about the film compression. So you have impact here. That's pretty much, it's like opacity or mix. So the lower it is, the less effect will be there. The higher it is, I think it's 100's the max. Let's see. Yeah, 100's the max. The more that's there, then it's full on that effect. So think of it as opacity. So I'll leave it at 60. And then tonal range, I usually have this halfway, which is, what's halfway? I think 50, yeah. So I'll do this at 50. White point, I usually leave it halfway, or in the middle, I usually leave that. And color density, I usually leave that halfway. So this is without it. See how long it takes? And then turn it on. See a little of those highlights soften up a little bit. Okay. So we just did film compression. Expand I haven't done. Print I will do. So I'll turn this on, and then I will go to profile. Kodak 2383 print film is what I usually use. And then you'll see the color change here with the contrast and the dark. See how dark it gets. So after I do that, that's where I do the other adjustments. So blacks, I usually go up 25, I think, and then shadows around 50. Let's see if that does anything. And this is the thing I just don't like, is because I have to wait. All right, see, that's way too much. Go 25, 25. And this is what happens when it slows up my like workflow. We could probably go a little bit higher on this. Okay, we'll go with that for now. So that's how I use that. And then you can add, let's see, go to this adjustment layer. You can add, again, like the grain and all that. So film grain, you can enable that. You'll see it usually adds a lot right off the bat. Yeah, you can see that. You can lower the amount. That do anything? Oh yeah, to like 4, maybe 2. So you can see the film grain. I usually don't add too much of film grain, really at all, unless I'm going for a specific look. So let's just take that out. They have halation and bloom, which I use, but I don't really adjust any of the settings, only because it takes forever for me, unless I have the time. So you'll see with halation, I don't even know if it started. And I've noticed with halation, it does bring on this magenta hue. So just look out for that. So I usually use halation and bloom. I love the bloom feature on here. See that right there? Makes it look a little more like angelic. It's nice, it softens it up, brings it out a little bit, has that little just bloom effect. And I like it because for a while I've been debating on getting a bloom diffuse or bloom filter. However, I just didn't want to. I didn't want to. This one gives me at least the flexibility to add it or to remove it if I wanted to. So here it is without it. Did it go? So there it is without it. Look how slow that is. All right, here it is with it. I'm gonna leave it on. There's also Vignette that you can add, a LUT generator, output, false color, gate weave. I haven't touched any of this stuff, but a good thing to do is to go on their website and read up on the different effects that they have, that they provide, and they'll walk you through everything. So after I've done that, what I'll do is I'll render it out, and this is what takes the longest time, because after I will make my adjustments, I'll render it out, and then I have to go back and watch it and then see if those are the adjustments I want to make. And then the good thing about using the adjustment layers is you don't have to go through each one and adjust it. You can just adjust it through the adjustment layer, and it should do it for all of them. And there will be some circumstances where you have to go to each one or two, depending on how it was shot, and then adjust those specifically. But for the most part, I'm here just adjusting this layer down here. All right, so fast forward, we're all done with the render, but it took about 3 minutes, and we're only, 14 seconds into the video. Imagine if this was a 3-minute video, even a 10-minute video. That would take a long time. So now I watch it through. So I like how this looks here. I like the colors and all that. Go to the next one. See, this is good as well. You go to this one. This one's really dark, especially down here. So I'll go in specifically for that, and then I'll adjust those parameters here just to make sure it's a little bit more even with the other two shots that I have. And you'll see the bloom effect. This is nice. I like that right here. Again, this just takes a little bit longer. And usually if I'm just in Lumetri, it'll be super quick. But the fact that this effect has so much going on just makes my computer run so slow. So you can see how it fixed it here, and I like it a lot better. It's not so dull and dark, and so this looks a lot better to me. So let me render that out. Let's see how long that takes for just this little clip. Okay, so about maybe like 15 seconds. And now what I'll do in detail, and I won't spend too much time on this because this is more of how I use Dehancer, but I'll go into the second adjustment layer, and then I will go into my curves. I'll go into hue versus hue. I'll look at the skin, and then I will adjust that. Make sure the line is right there, and then you can see if I do it all the way down, they'll just be green, and it'll be on this side. But look how long it takes. It's still not showing. Okay, so I'm just gonna, oh there, it showed a little bit. And then like the Hulks. All right, come on. It's too green for me. So then you'll see, yeah, so I'll do that, and then I'll go and pick through each color and adjust accordingly. I usually, for like, you know, blues and stuff like that, I'll lower them. I don't like a lot of saturation in my videos, so I will adjust that. Here, I'll use the picker and I'll pick on things and then I'll lower it here. There's nothing really here that I need to pick. So I'll go into detail with that. And then I'll adjust the colors that I want, but right now, let's just not do that. I don't want to go into detail. And then after I do that, depending on what I want to do, I'll add some sharpening. I usually add about 30. And then I'll go through, if I want to do more detail, I'll go into through here. But that's how I use Dehancer. So I'll do it on the top adjustment layer, do it through that, and then I'll do all my details here. And then specifically for each frame, I will go into each video here. So there you go. That's how I use Dehancer. Hopefully this was helpful. If you want me to make another video in which I use it in a little bit more detail, then I can do that as well. Again, I'm still learning the plugin. There's a lot to go over, and you know, it's just hard for me to spend that much time on going through each one if I have to adjust it, wait a little bit, render it out just so I can see it played in real time. And I'm sure there's some things I can adjust on my end on Premiere Pro to make it flow a little bit better. But for now, you know, I'm going to use it for my cinematic videos. I'm going to use it for client videos in which I want the colors to really stand out and look great. I do recommend this product. It is a little pricey, but if you use my code, you can get 10% off. My code is DRE10. That's DRE10. If you use that code, you can get 10% off of your purchase, your license, and you can use it. So yeah, I do recommend it. I've been using it for the past, I want to say 3 videos that I've done, and I will continue to use it and probably upgrade my system so it just moves a little bit quicker. Have any questions, let me know in the comments below. If you like that video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Do all that good stuff. Do whatever you want to do, but whatever you do, do good. I will see you on the next one. Peace.